You are going to love today's podcast, an interview with the Schreiners. But before we get started, I just want to invite you to go to crazycoolfamily.com/Black Friday because we have some special things for you. We put our courses for 50% off so that you can be equipped over the holidays to relationally discipline and tie your kids together through siblings as best friends. And then we also have something free for you. So go check it out. crazycoolfamily.com/Black Friday.
Welcome to the Crazy Cool Family Podcast with Don and Suzanne Manning. Parents, what if we could give you the power to transform your family into something absolutely amazing?
A family where everyone is healthy, gets along, loves Jesus, and has great purpose in life.
Hey, let us flip your thinking to unlock the power God has given you to create your own Crazy Cool family. Hey, Crazy Cool parents, welcome to the weekly Rethink, and we get to do, why are you so giggling
I'm so
over there?
excited. I'm waiting for you. You're taking
What
forever.
are you doing over there? If you could see her, she's got this big grin on her face.
You guys, we've got something exciting for you.
Yes, we have our very first interview. And so we've picked a family that is, they're in the Crazy Cool Family Hall of Fame already. The Schreiners have been with us for, just a few years. And
they're our poster family because their portrait is on our website.
Yeah, so if you want to see a picture of them minus the newest one,
yeah,
that's
baby
about 2
Low,
months
baby
old.
Malone.
Yes, so if you hear her squeaking, she's here with us right now as well.
She's got a lot of wisdom to share if you can translate it.
That's right. So, Dave, introduce Ally to us.
Yes, Ally is my wife. We've been married for a little over 9 years, and she has the pleasure of trying to contain me day in and day out. So,
yeah, so how many kids? How many kids do you have, Ally? Do you have four or five?
Kids.
Four plus Dave.
4 plus
Five,
5.
yeah.
So she has 5 kids. I have 4. I don't know how it works,
Yes,
but I'm bad
that's
at math.
Yeah. So, Ally, tell us about Dave.
So Dave is,
Let's hear it. I love hearing this.
Okay, I'll be more serious. He is an awesome dad, an awesome husband, and he loves being a dad. He loves to teach our kids things. He loves to engage with them. He is not afraid just to, wrestle and play with them. He's awesome dad.
Tell us about your kids a little bit. Names, ages.
Yes, so we have 7. I don't know how you guys do it with 7 kids. So I'm already struggling with 4 kids of remembering all their names and their
for
ages.
sure. No, you don't.
So
It changes every year. Don't even hold yourself
I think I've
accountable.
heard
to
Their
that.
names change every year?
Well, no. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've heard Don say one of his boys' names is Matthew before. Because it has an N. But anyway, so my kids, so we have 7, 5, 2, and 2 months. And I think we're stopping there, but the Mannings may talk us into one more. We'll see.
There we go. We talked you into the last one, I think.
I think you
We
did.
prayed that one.
Yes,
Existence,
yes.
actually.
They
If
did.
Suzanne starts
did.
praying for something, you better watch out because she prayed for a 4th for us.
Yeah.
So
A girl, 4th specifically.
Yes.
Reagan and I did.
She
Yeah.
did. They did.
So our oldest is Reagan, and she's 7, and then Grayson, Rowan, and Malone.
Yep.
So what are some facts you want this audience to know about your family? Just what's going on with you guys?
We were talking about this, and I'd say one thing that we love to be outside. We love to do things as a family. We love to go on many adventures.
Just got back from a little hunting trip at
Yes,
your
we
parents,
did.
right?
Yes, we
Shot
did.
a couple of deer.
Yes, that was fun.
We did, and the kids loved it. Reagan told us hunting is her new favorite thing.
That'll probably last 1 week.
Yeah, that's right.
And but I think that's probably because she likes sitting in the deer blind or shooting house and coloring more than she did the actual hunting
There you
or
go.
staring out
Yes.
the window. So,
Yes.
but I'll take it.
Brilliant.
I love the time with her.
So you like outdoors. What else about your family should we know?
I think the thing that embodies it all is we love doing, and
So you're very active.
And
Yes.
so just doing whatever it is, I love being outside, and just being with family is where I'm refreshed, and of just seeing the kids learn how to ride a bike or shoot hoops or wrestle. I just love being in the thick of it with them.
Yeah. What do you like about your kids? What do you enjoy about them?
I think one of the things I enjoy the most is seeing them grow and develop. Like with Malone, she's 2 months, and so she just learned to laugh yesterday, like her first little giggle, and that just
It's a laugh to us. It was kind of like a,
No, it's a lab.
So for a 2-month-old baby, that's a win,
Yes,
and so
for
that's
sure.
a next step for her. So we're celebrating that for sure.
And you were telling us just about your older kids, how she's always getting attention.
Yes, she always gets attention. They come home, they want to hold her constantly. They fight over who gets to hold her first in the car, or who gets out first to hold her. And but I love seeing them learn, so they learn to read, or they learn to ride their bike, or they learn who Jesus is. Those are all super fun things for us.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
you guys, we've known you for, like I said, probably about 4 years now, but you definitely have we share a passion for family. I think that was one of the reasons that we connect. Little known fact might be that Dave and Ally have led our older boys youth group. What would you call it?
The
Small group. There you go.
Small group.
And so Dave and Ally have really invested into our boys' lives. So it's been kind of a circular effect, an upward spiral, if you will.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you guys have a passion for family, and so tell us about that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. Is I remember you and I having a conversation, and I don't remember if it was here at this kitchen table or where it was, but I remember you saying that Dave and I love family. Like we sit in bed at night and
I
talk
remember
about
that, yeah.
parenting.
Yes,
And
we
so-
love it. Like that's, we don't, a lot of people, they'll watch TV at night, and we don't have shows we watch. We don't really like to do that, but we love to sit on our couch and talk about family. It's just.
So what do you talk
So, yeah,
about?
I was
Like
about to ask
what's
the
a
same thing.
typical?
So yeah, give us a.
We talk a lot about like how we can parent the kids better, or what's, if one of them is struggling or whatnot, or, we use your family dashboard a lot to figure out, okay, this relationship isn't strong right now, so how can we strengthen that one? We love to talk about new little adventures we can go on, or plan for our next whatever it is, just going out and playing basketball. But I don't know.
I think a
I'd
lot of
say-
time it's just reflecting, whether
Yes,
it's
that's
reflecting on the
true.
day and reflecting on the wins that we've had with our kids.
Oh, that's good.
And really trying to kind of celebrate the small wins, because oftentimes, when you're in the thick of it as a parent, with 4 kids, 1 kid, whatever number of kids you have, even if you have no kids, there's struggles that you're going to come across, but it's really trying to kind of think about, we have more to celebrate than to complain about.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And as parents, it's just finding that win and holding on to it, because you may find one win, and in the next moment, the kid's throwing their food on the floor.
That is true for
especially-
us.
Probably throw it back
Especially
in
with
the
4
floor.
kids. I
Yeah.
mean, so
Yeah.
now you
Little.
have 4, and so what's life like for parents that might be thinking about that 4th child, or what's life like now with 4 kids?
This is what it's like.
Ah!
Run. I'm kidding.
No, it's awesome. Have more. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's definitely chaotic, but within that, we found that, one of the things that we pray for is a peaceful home. And I would say we feel peaceful.
It
Probably
is
if
very
someone
peaceful.
like if they're looking at it, they probably say, "Whoa, that's all chaos."
I mean, right now we've got spaghetti and I see Cheerios on the floor, but it's peaceful.
Well,
It
and
does feel peaceful.
And Dave has a job that travels some, so
Yes.
they are a wonderful family, but dealing with a lot of things in life right now. Dealing with the busyness of 7, 5, 2 and 2 months.
Yes.
Husband with an upwardly mobile job and traveling and things, and so
Right.
what is life like with all that? I mean, what's life like when he's gone?
I would say it's a little more chaotic. I'm probably not as nice, but I would say that, I feel like when he leaves, he usually talks to our 2 oldest and he says, okay, it's
That's
your turn
good.
to really step up. You
Brilliant.
got to help mom. She needs you to whatever it is. And I really feel like they meet that expectation. They are ready to handle that, and so it's crazy, and it's just like everyone else, you got to get everyone up for school on time, and you got to be at all the practices and all that, but it's fun, and we wouldn't trade it for
And we were just talking
anything.
about how. Oh, go ahead. No, sorry.
No, I was saying one thing I've taken to heart just from, you can correct me on the quoting of it, but it's something that you would tell your kids as far as, outside of your parents, you're going to have the biggest impact on your
Yes.
younger sibling's life.
Mm-hmm.
And so for each of them, from Reagan, or, from the 7-year-old, 5-year-old to 2-year-old, I even tell my 2-year-old, hey, buddy, whether it's I'm going to work or I'm going on a work trip, it's, hey, buddy, I need you to look after Malone, and I need you to protect her while
Wow,
I'm gone.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Even though I know deep down inside he has no idea what I'm saying.
And he hurts
But-
her more than protects her. But
Yeah.
hey,
Well, and
But-
you were just saying like how Reagan is such a a mature soul.
Yes.
And is really trying to help take care of things. You were
Yes,
just
she
explaining
does.
some of that, right?
Yeah, she loves to help. She just had Malone earlier in her little baby doll carrier, and, and then she has her hands loose. So she's like, "Okay, Mom, what can I help with?" And it's so sweet to see that they want to do what they see Mom and Dad do. You know,
Right.
they do want to do that, and so I just feel like the more that we are just patient with them and give them the chance,
good.
like. Oh, it makes it so much easier, because I say that's very hard for me. It's to give them, to be patient and let them help. But the more I do that, I just think I don't know, it's worth it.
It's worth
Yeah.
it.
We win.
For sure.
Yes.
I love it. And I love, Dave, that you started out by saying pay attention to the wins. And then y'all talked about intentionality, being intentional with your kids. And then you're even saying being patient with them. I think parents out there, that's how you do 4 kids. That's how you do the chaos of 4 small children who are high maintenance and needy all the time.
Yes.
You focus on those positive things. You intentionally direct them, and then you're patient with them when they mess up. And they're
Right.
going to mess up. They're
Right.
little
Right.
people.
Yeah,
Yes.
but in the meantime, Reagan's already being a helper.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and Rowan's already taken responsibility. And
Yes.
so that's 7 and 5. And parents,
Rowan's
that's
2.
I'm Rowan's 2. That's right.
Grayson's
That's
5.
Grayson's 5. That's
That's
true.
right. He doesn't remember our
forget
kids
too.
sometimes,
I
do
forget.
I don't even know my own kids' names. But you know, they're already taking that responsibility and
Yes.
starting to help, and that's such a big deal when you have a lot of kids, because if your older ones are, you know, off the reservation, then you know you're chasing them too, instead of them coming in and trying to help
Right.
and being a part of things.
Yes.
Hey, we just wanted to take a quick break and share with you guys about something exciting we've got going on. We've gathered what we know about specific parenting topics and put them into easy online courses. If you haven't already checked these out, now is the perfect time, because they're 50% off. And when you purchase one of the courses, we're going to give you an additional ebook for free. So make sure to head to crazycoolfamily.com/Black Friday. So I
Absolutely.
want to ask you guys, do you guys have a scripture that you guys have set aside for your family, for your marriage? Anything specific that you guys have, like you've got one that's posted above here. Is that
I don't even know
your-
what that says. I'm kidding. Let me read it. Yeah, for where 2 or 3 are gathered. Yeah, that's one of my favorite.
That's why we wanted Dave to do this, because
No.
we knew he would be a,
No.
he would
But,
make us LOL.
You know, as far as we have, we
I
don't have a specific family verse. I mean, we have one for Allie and I, and I'll go ahead and let her share that with you just to see if she remembers it.
Come on, Allie. You're on the spot. Here we go.
Colossians 3:23, right?
Oh yeah.
That's it, because
Is
I
that-
forgot.
It's on his ring, but he doesn't wear it.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. I wear my ring, but I wear one of those
not when you
cool
travel.
new hip. No. Cut. No, I wear one of those cool new hip rubber rings.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's not
it's
engraved
true.
in that.
You know what? I'm gonna go do that tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. So we are off. Speaking of off the reservation.
Sorry.
Let's
See what I
bring it-
meant
yeah,
earlier about my
exactly.
wife trying to contain me? This is it.
So, what do you guys? We were. So, tell us how you got involved with Crazy Cool Family.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
go ahead.
Well, the first thing that the first time we ever saw you guys was when we first came to our church, Valley Creek, and you guys had a little parenting night. We had a parenting night at church, I
Right.
think, and there was probably like 200 people in the venue, and you guys just
yeah.
did like a little
Remember that.
parenting
Yep.
seminar.
You
So
remember that?
Oh yeah.
it had to have been like 5 years ago, and I
Yep.
think that was the. Do you remember that, Dave?
I remember that.
And that was the first time that we had even been to like a parenting thing ever.
And
I
so
just-
how old were you? You had Reagan.
we had
and-
Reagan. She was
Reagan and
2,
Grayson.
and
And
Grayson
Grayson
was
was-
probably like 6 months old.
Yeah.
And so, but I think that just hearing you guys, I think just kind of changed how we did family. Because at that time, you know, a 2-year-old, and we were parenting, but we weren't dealing with a lot of discipline things quite yet, you know.
Right.
And so, it was just neat to hear all the things you guys had to say.
Yeah, and there was an attraction that I felt towards the Mannings and your family just by seeing you guys talk. And it's, wow, you've got 7 kids. Okay, I'm listening, because you must be doing something right when you have
Right.
7
Yeah.
kids. And then it's, you know, you have 7 kids and you're not weird. and I'm serious. It's, you know, you're cool people, and you and then you've talked about your kids in sports, and so there was just layers of attraction that kept drawing us into, hey, let's hear more about what they're doing, because you're well respected, and it's just something that we want to take and run with for our family.
Right. Well, and then their boys, or your oldest, Michael, their oldest boy, joined our small group, and just to see how he was like, we realized, okay, what they say or what they write, like, it's true. It works because we got to see firsthand. I mean, we had your son in our house every other Saturday for 4 years. So it's like, if we're going to see how they really are, like, that's a great chance to see, And so and Dave got to know him so well, on a personal level. And we got to just see, wow, like, he is awesome. And then Maddox joined our group next, and we're like, wow, he's even better. I mean, not better, but
Sorry,
I mean, like,
Michael. Maddox is better.
Yeah.
But
Michael would say the same thing.
but he was even more mature as a freshman than Michael was. And
Right.
just to see that was like, oh my gosh, they get better and better. This is awesome, And so we really just,
when you're talking about Maddox, it was so neat. There's a story from Hub Camp where a leader, he shared it with his wife. He's like, because he'd known Michael for a while, and so he went up to his wife and he says, "Look," he says, "Sonia, I think I found the next Michael Manning." and he said his name's Maddox, and he's great, and he was just sharing some powerful revelation with me, and I was blown away. And Sonia told him, he's like, "That's his brother."
So when you guys,
we need to take a minute and just thank you guys, because y'all were
that's right.
incredible small group leaders. Michael
Thank you.
absolutely adored you, and Michael was very particular about who he let speak into his life, and he let you in, and we're so grateful for you literally rearrange things in his life. And so, guys out there, just know that it takes a community. It literally does for us to raise our kids together, and so we're grateful for the Schreiners for helping us with that as well.
Yeah, so start with a course and then think through it a little bit with, we didn't have the book at the time. It was really, Dave, you were in our men's group. And so we were doing some training and did the parenting class at Valley Creek. And so how did that influence your family? Tell parents, that are starting to read the book or whatever, what can they expect from Crazy Cool Family?
Yeah, I mean, I love the pillars of just pursuing God, and building healthy relationships and creating culture, and taking that and run with it. And so one of the things that I've picked up just from being in your small group was just speaking identity over your children. And even when they don't understand what you're saying, it's you're constantly dripping identity into them and over them. And so one of the things that I tell my son Grayson, or I tell all of my kids, is that I tell them every night that they have what it takes.
So
and
good.
that for my son it'll be, you have what it takes, you're the guy. Or for my daughter, you have what it takes, you're the girl. And it's not I'm the guy, I'm number one, I can do anything. It's more of I'm the guy that can do it. I'm the guy that can step up and either be a light or just reminding him of who he is, or my daughter of who she is. And
So
that's
good.
one thing that I've just really appreciated, to see them flourish and then to step into that.
Yeah,
So
and
good.
that story actually made it in our book. and because it was such a powerful story. And then
You even wrote it on your whiteboard for a while, didn't you?
Well, that's where he took it from, because it was
Okay.
a statement that God had put on my heart. I wrote it on my whiteboard in the barn where we used to meet, and he took it and started to tell it to Grayson, and eventually.
How powerful is that if we can tell our children at 5 and 7 and 2
Right.
that they've got what it takes? I mean,
Right.
I just
Well,
feel like
and
deep
eventually-
down inside, we all need to hear that.
Yeah, Grayson
Absolutely.
eventually, if I remember right, would start to tell that to you
Right.
when you were leaving. And
Yes.
hey, Dad.
When
Yeah,
he would
one
go
night,
on
I
a
couldn't remember
business
if it was
trip.
for work or if I was actually going to your small group. And he, I went, he came outside because he wanted to see me out the door, and then he was probably 3, so he, I gave him a hug and said goodbye. Then I rolled down my window and waved, and he says, "Hey, Dad, you have what it takes. You're the guy." It's like, wow, like that's the moment you talk about. Well, that's a win. He is
Yes.
remembering what we're speaking over him, and he's, speaking it out.
Well, and I remember too that, and I had the same issues, and that I have our oldest is Molly, a daughter who is also very, is a girl, has the emotions and has the temperamentalness and the particularness, but is a blessing and everything.
Right,
But
right.
you guys were walking through that relationship and trying to figure out how to navigate that when she
Right.
was 5, 6, 7 during this time period. So how
Yes.
did Crazy Cool Family help you through those, and is helping you through those
Right.
times?
Well, I think one of the biggest things was that I felt like I had to control her because, of course, I mean, that's my role. I'm her mom. I need to control her, right? And, just talking with Suzanne, she just reminded me that that's not really my role, And,
It's exhausting.
right. That if I do it that way, it's going to just drain me. And really, it's more about I get to help shape her. I get to help create who she's going to be. And one of the things that she struggled with was going into her Sunday school class at church. Her class had like probably 50 kids in there, and it was just overwhelming for her. And, every week I would take her in, she'd run away from me. So I'm chasing this 6-year-old throughout our church. I was embarrassed, and I'm sure she just was humiliated and didn't like it. And, Suzanne just said, well, what if she just came to the big church with you? Like,
Right.
that's the goal, right? Like for her to come, and so Dave and I talked about it. And so we tried that out, and she came and she loved it, and she started taking her own notes. And, for me, I
Taking
felt like,
notes in church?
yes,
I didn't
and
know
her
that.
notes were like right on. Like
Probably
it was
better
awesome.
than mine.
Yes. And she'd draw. I mean, not that she was doing it the whole time, but we would talk about it after, and she was actually listening. And so it was just
She sat on the front row.
Yes,
Very
she did.
impressive.
Yes. But we just realized that, it doesn't have to be, she doesn't have to do what all the other kids do, and that each of our kids are different. And
that's good.
That's okay. And, our kids don't have to be like all the other kids. And so that was I think one thing that Crazy Cool Family did for us was just remind us that, that we get to help shape our kids, and that it's okay if they're not like everybody else. And our goal is just to point them to Jesus. And that's what so that's what we ended up doing. And I don't know. And now she's back in her class, and
She
it was
is.
awesome.
I noticed. Yes. So it was just
and
a
I've
little,
actually got
it was like a little
and I
6-month
have
thing.
I have a
Yeah.
phrase from that. You don't control your kids, you shape your kids.
Yes.
What a
Yeah,
statement
so
that is
good.
for parents to know that is just such a powerful thing that and the thing about it is that you were working so hard at trying to control her.
Yes.
And that's what Suzanne said, is that it's exhausting.
Yes.
And so so now you guys have just been going through the relational discipline course.
Yeah, they were one of the first people that bought it right when it hit the
Yes.
whatever.
At 12:01 a.m., we woke up and bought it.
Yeah, there was a big line outside. And
We love them the most.
yeah. So
And y'all are working your way through it. You said
Yes.
you got through a couple videos.
Yes.
What's been your takeaway? What's your
I think the biggest thing for us, kind of like what you just said, is that the goal of discipline is not to control them. Because when you guys first said that, we both looked at each other like, yeah, it is. They're wrong. We're right. We
What do
need
they know
to
about
control. They need to obey us, and they need to obey us the first time. I mean,
Right.
that's what every parent wants, right? But I think just the more that we talked about it, and the more that we realized, like, we do want them to find freedom, and we do want them to be willing to obey us eventually, and then be willing to obey God. That was really just life-changing, I feel like, for us.
Yeah, and I love what you did, you as an ally, of just adding freedom through structure. And from that, after watching one of the courses and talking and reflecting and kind of having I would call that the important time, is for us, not just a video, but for us to sit there and, okay, talk about it and go over and, okay, now where can we apply this, either, in our parenting or even things in our marriage. And Ally was creative, and she, took bits and pieces of things that we've heard our other friends do, but also created some freedom within structure, if you want to share.
Yeah, so we just, our mornings before school are beautiful and wonderful, and our kids do exactly what they're supposed to do, right?
yeah, all the time.
No, so we found our mornings before school were just chaos. We were constantly saying, okay, now go get your shoes on. Now go eat your breakfast. Now we only have 5 minutes. Now we only have 4 minutes. And it was just, we realized we're sending our kids out the door, and the last thing they heard was mom and dad saying, go do this, and we don't want that to be what home is like. And so we made this little list of all the things they need to do in the morning, and they have little check marks. And so every day when they wake up, if they do all the things they're supposed to do and they check it off, and they get to put this little palm in their jar, and they get to have rewards. And I think you had said in one of the videos, like, give them rewards. Like that's, and
it's okay.
Incentive,
right.
actually.
And I think, and we felt like, well, we don't want to do that because they just need to obey us because we're mom and dad,
Right.
you know, but you said, like, in the world, there's incentives, and we were like, yes, why are we not doing this?
Yeah.
And so that, like, just changed everything for us. They started to actually do what they're supposed to do in the morning, and they did it, you know, in the order they're supposed to do it. And it just made it so much easier to where now the paper is what's controlling and telling them what to do, rather than us nagging them.
Well,
Right.
and they now have the self-control to do that. So now they
Right.
own it. I just think that's brilliant.
And they're
that's the goal.
inspired.
And they're inspired. Yeah, they want to.
Yeah.
They want to earn the prize at
Right.
the end of the
Right.
goal.
Right.
Yeah, what a great. I just always like to hone in on these lessons so parents can take it with them, that it's they're inspired to do something versus the parent having to instill it in them. You know, there's
Yeah.
just
And tell them and remind them and nag them and boss them and all
Right.
that
Yeah.
stuff.
Right.
Instead,
So
it bubbles up inside them. That's inspire.
right,
Right.
exactly.
Dave, share a couple of the things on the. So he grabbed the little note that they have. It's brilliant. They have it on the refrigerator in a plastic, and it's just slid inside. And do the kids like write on it? Is that what they're doing there?
Yeah, and so we just have the list of things that they're going through each morning, and we also have some identity statements on there. And some of them, you may think, yeah, they're cheesy, but personally, I believe cheesy is cool in the kingdom of God.
There you go.
For Grayson and Reagan, it's the first thing, and they have to check it off the list. Is that they verbally say it is just, I'm a beloved daughter.
Oh,
Check it
wow.
off the list. And then the next one, it's get dressed, and I'll credit Allie with some of these clever sayings, but it's thank you, Jesus, for my comfy clothes.
Super cheesy, but they love it. So
That's
you know
right.
what? It
Well,
works.
children are cheesy.
And
Though.
so
I mean, they're
actually
goofy
say
and they
these
want to
things?
laugh.
Yes.
They
We have
say
to
the
join
first
them in their
one.
world.
The rest of them, it's just like, okay, get dressed. What can I do next? Eat breakfast,
Right.
brush teeth, do hair, potty. Okay.
Reagan will say it, and if Grayson doesn't, then she'll remind him, you have to say it to check it off the
Grayson,
list.
you have to say it. Say you're a beloved son.
And so really what it's doing there is you're training independence into them, right?
Yes.
And and that's how long have you been doing this?
Not long.
Like
Just,
a-
I mean,
a
Probably
couple
been
weeks?
2 or 3 weeks we started.
And this
it.
was inspired from the course?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because we realized that we are trying to control everything that they do, and we realize, we're treating our 7-year-old kind of like she's still 2, because we're telling her all the next things to do. And if we can just give them a little more independence with healthy boundaries, it's better for her, and it's so much more freeing and easy for us, And now we found out our little 2-year-old, who he doesn't go to school, but he wants his palm in the morning, so he always makes sure he gets dressed. And
Oh, that's
You know,
hilarious.
he does better than the older kids.
that's true.
Because you got him younger. He's
Yes.
more
Right.
pliable. Well, what I love about it is with our course, we talk about like lofty concepts. And I love it that you guys came together, invited the Holy Spirit, and he gave you a very specific, very practical thing to do with your kids at
Right.
the ages that they are that would help them be a success.
In the morning when it's
Yeah.
tough and, the
Yes.
mornings
Yeah,
are,
in your
Yeah.
hot spot, if you will. Brilliant.
yeah. Well, hey, we are looking forward for you guys doing the rest of the videos and seeing all the other, because you guys have been through the first 2, right?
Yes.
And then there's the 7 disciplined drivers that are coming, and then the 3 bonus videos that'll show you the littles, middles, and bigs, very practical examples. So,
Yes.
let's wrap it up. You guys have been a great first interview couple. There will never be another first.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
No competition.
That's right. That's right. You will always be the first. And so never any parting words you want to give
I was
to
gonna
our
say, is
listeners?
there anything else you'd like
Yeah.
to share?
The one thing that I'd love to share just for your listeners is that the Mannings, they're the real deal.
Yeah.
And so we've had,
thank
we've had the pleasure of having 3 of their children. And so we've been able to kind of look at the answer book as to who they are.
Right.
And, we had Mackenzie for a little bit. And if you know Mackenzie, she's one of the most joyful people that you'll ever meet. And she
Right.
just carries hope everywhere she goes, and she walks in and talks to you, and it's like, wow, oh my gosh, I'm happy. Thank you for talking to me. Nice to meet you, Mackenzie.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
And then just seeing, Michael and how he acts and the freedom that he has, and the same with Maddox. And so they're the real deal, and we've seen it in their kids. It's
Yes.
not just them saying their kids love Jesus, it's their kids saying that they love Jesus, and then
Right.
also seeing them pursue him as, for their own relationship has been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would just say that it's worth it. Like,
That's
I
good.
love how you guys say family is worth it. I want to get that somewhere in my home. But
That will be your scripture. I'm
Yes.
sure it's in there.
Yes. But I love that. And I think that you guys have just reminded us that it doesn't have to be exhausting. That yes, parenting is exhausting, but it doesn't have to be that way. And it can be fun. And
That's good.
I love all those little reminders that you guys have given us. So.
Yeah, one of the things
That's
I
so
remember
good.
you saying too, Allie, is that, and I hope the parents hear this in our message, is that we are encouraging to you, that we encourage you can do this.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's not just it's worth it, but you can do it,
Yes.
And you are doing it.
and you
Right.
are doing it. Yeah, and these the Schreiners are definitely a family. I know when your kids are little, parents are wondering, is it worth it, and what's going to happen? But you guys have really flipped to believing that things are going to happen,
Right.
that your
Yes.
kids are going to be mighty warriors in the kingdom. And
Absolutely.
isn't that part of what's flipped? Not just, it's also been with our church experience too, but,
Right.
but just believing that they are going to be mighty children
Yes.
of God, right?
Right, absolutely. And I feel like we realized we have to believe that or they never will.
Right.
We have
That's
to believe
good.
it first.
It's good.
Yeah. Any parting words, Suzanne, before I
No, I
wrap
was
us
just
up?
going to say thanks, guys. Y'all are absolutely incredible. I'm so
Thank
excited
you.
to see your children when they're my children's age, my teenagers' age, because they're going to be amazing. Because I didn't tell my children they are beloved sons and daughters when
That's
they were
right.
5 and 7. So imagine how much greater your kids are going to be.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's exactly right.
We're looking forward to that as
Right.
well. They'll know
Let's
their
hope
beloved
so.
sons and daughters, and they'll know how to wipe by themselves
Right. Yes.
one day.
Well, thank you to the
Let it be, Lord.
Thank you to the Shriners, and thank you to Crazy Cool Parents. We so appreciate you guys being with us, and we
Mhm.
so appreciate parents, you guys listening to us. Thank you so much, and we love you guys. And go be crazy, parents. crazycoolfamily.com.
Weren't the Shriners absolutely amazing? Don't you love it? I can't wait until we interview them again and other families as well. I just love the dynamic of getting to talk to families about the things that are going on in their lives. Hope you and your family have a great, great time together throughout the holidays. I hope you get Thanksgiving full and that you get yourself ready and prepared for the upcoming Christmas holidays.